So, I should probably press that record button, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Probably.
Joke's on you, I pressed it before I said that.
Oh no.
Darn. You mean I can't whisper murder at you?
I mean, you still can.
Murder.
That's more the Kobold campaign.
Yeah.
But
True.
possibly this one as well. Who's to say? That otter over there is looking not suspicious at all. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cause and Effect. This is a homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign. My name is Crash. I'll be your DM for the evening. Tonight is episode 5, Serenade. Tonight I'm joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Ellie, Io, Jen, and Tom. What happened last time?
A water slide?
There was, in fact, a water slide. Yes, you're absolutely right. One of you had a lot of fun with the water slide.
The otter.
Yay!
Although I think you rode Tex like a bobsled all the way down.
I did.
Well, there might have been some sharp rocks there. So, you know, let the one made of metal deal with that.
That's what friends are for?
Too much. Friends are for the shopper. Wait, no. No, I don't like where this is going. I have too many friends, and there are sharp rocks out there. Most likely at the bottom.
Oops.
Right after we go over a huge waterfall.
Oops.
But yes, what happened last time was you defeated a big bad, not the big bad, but a bad thing that was apparently trying to build a transporter device of some kind. It wasn't finished, it wasn't functional, and you didn't know where it went. So you decided, we're just going to leave this here and go through this convenient door over here. And then you met the train.
We did not stick around to say hello to the train in close proximity. We skedaddled back through the door.
Chadrick almost did when Chadrick teleported in, and there was some convincing necessary. I don't know if it was just in character for Chadrick or if Chadrick's player did in fact have that bad a day. Column A and column B perhaps, but Chadrick was convinced to get out of the path of the oncoming light. It was not at the end of the tunnel. In fact, if you go around the tunnel long enough, you realize the tunnel's a circle. So there is no end to it unless you stay put, and then that's your end. But eventually,
Especially once the train gets there.
Yes. But eventually, by going down the tunnel and exploring various rooms, you found an area that had been eroded away by an underground river. Much fun was had. Some rolls were made. Some rolls were failed. Some enjoyment was to be had, either by the players or the characters, or a combination thereof.
Damn.
And then you had a splashdown in a small pond that also has an outlet of a small river, because you can't keep putting water into something, it has to go somewhere eventually. In an incredibly large canyon where the floor is made up of somewhat level cubes, but not really level. And as you look off in the distance, the source book that I'm using refers to this chamber as the Grove. And in a way, it kind of is, because you have a lot of objects that are all standing on a single point each, that are sort of like swaying and moving in an unseen breeze. And it kind of looks like a grove or forest, but they're all platonic solids.
Nice.
So, yes, I imagine that the source book was expecting this particular adventure to be played on an actual tabletop and have the DM just take their entire dice collection and pour it out onto the table and say, this is what you see. That is not, in fact, what we're going to be doing, though.
Someone has been gambling with the universe, or at least the planet.
To be honest, that's not entirely wrong with the origin of the setting. Either the original source book version or my own modified version to fit my homebrew. So, and off in the distance beyond the grove, you can dimly make out a glowing light, and there is this, for want of a better word, music that is pervasive throughout this chamber.
Tiny bubbles. So.
I am one with the force. The force is the force. Why not laugh?
Come on, you know Donho exists in this universe.
Probably in Plantain.
Maybe.
Almost certainly in Plantain. And Mo probably invited him. But in any case, the music that you're hearing is that there's some low tones, there's some high tones. It's almost relaxing except for the occasional rumbling booms that aren't quite like thunder. Imagine if you slowed down techno and or trance music, but not necessarily in a good way, or you could, I guess you could get used to it, or no, it's a little too awkward. This is...
Well, I think it's neat.
Avant-garde. Or maybe
Like-
retro.
Like really dreadful, slowed down Radiohead.
Ugh.
It's been a very long time since I listened to a Radiohead song, so it's not... ringing a bell
Yeah,
right now.
I can hear that.
Boots and pants and boots and...
There you go. That's perfect.
Maybe if you combined Radiohead and Adam Ant.
Ooh.
Would that be Ant-Man?
Radio Ant.
Ant Head.
That too.
And then there's the cover band for it, Uncle Head. And I can only assume that the word bubble that was added for Mo on our map was done by Ellie. And well played.
Maybe.
Well, it's right next to the Frog of War. I like how the map, that we're not even using it for combat right now. It's just apparently only being used for puns and memes.
I just kept adding rhymes.
That's good too. I particularly like how we have A the kobold next to a different A.
Oh no. Poor A.
Be right
That
back,
wasn't
rolling
me.
up the fawns. You know he's level 20. The question
Or
is
at least he
which class?
says he is. Does he have class?
Well, whichever class lets you jump over a shark while water skiing. Anyway,
Monk.
so there was some discussion about what you were going to do briefly. It was off camera and we weren't all here for it. But the thought process was either you can advance in the direction that you think the singing monolith is in, which not much of a hard guess in this case, or you could try taking a long rest here. You do have somewhat cleanish water. It could be a good camping spot, good as any, but you also don't know what else is in this cavern.
I vote we try to take a long rest. I'm out of inspiration.
I agree. Let's rest while we can.
I'll keep.
All right.
I don't need to rest.
Oh, caveat, while you don't need to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
you do need downtime.
Right.
So you
Well,
would
I'll
be
sit
able to keep
down.
watch while doing that. But
Right. I'll just sit somewhere and monitor.
Server maintenance.
Server
powering
maintenance, yeah,
down.
something like that. Kind of.
Defragging hard drive. 0% complete.
Oh no, we're
Zero
going to
com-
be here for 4 hours.
0% complete.
Well,
That's why it's
4
a
hours
long
is half
rest.
a long rest.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
0.000000000.1% complete. Wait.
That had 2 points in it.
Error found.
Cannot be resolved. Contact administration.
Restore.
I
abort,
think we will
retry.
not contact administration.
You go to click the
No.
OK button and the OK button moves.
The
Let's
point
see
is,
around the screen. Yeah.
we are trying not to contact administration. I get the feeling that they're trying to keep administration from talking to us.
Who is administration? If you ask to speak to the manager, who will you encounter?
Well, I mean, who did the programming?
They're not around yet. Or are they?
Well, or are they? That's the whole thing.
They probably don't know what they're doing yet. Probably. Which is probably good. But, makes it hard to contact administrator.
The wonderful thing about having a game that starts with time travel is verb tenses are wonderful,
You mean-
confusing things.
The-
If we
And-
contacted administrator, we'd probably get chroma.
Oh no.
oh, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I suspect more than one person has done their best to convince Chroma to not come down to the singing monolith.
Yeah.
And if possible, there have been serious attempts to prevent Chroma from being aware that there is a singing monolith.
Hasn't chroma been inside the singing monolith?
Yes, but Chroma wasn't told that the location Chroma was in was inside the singing monolith. Chroma was just told it was a domain of dread.
That's fair.
Anyway, while we're talking, you can go ahead and actually, no, don't press that long rest button yet. Before we press that long rest button, I need someone to roll me a d10.
I think I
Alright.
rolled the last time. So,
I'll roll 1d10. Let me
Hmm,
find it.
I'm typing something in, but Discord's feeling laggy.
I see
Okay.
Tex rolled a 1, and Tex rolled the 1 right before Io rolled a 2.
Oh, I don't see Texas at all yet.
Well, it's because Tex rolled in D&D Beyond.
Ah.
So did I.
So
I think I got a
let me
4.
check.
I say we go with the highest roll.
I say we go with the role that's least problematic for the PCs.
Well, I saw 3 rolls. I'm going to roll a 1d3. Okay. So I'm going to pick that particular roll. Look at my encounter table here. Let's see. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. There's multiple entries here where I actually put nothing happens.
Oh.
Unfortunately,
That's good.
Tex is not allowed to roll whatever die that was to get you a
Wow.
230.
I saw that one.
What did Tex roll?
230.
3d100.
I was just wondering what would happen.
Well, yes.
And now you know.
That's why I type things like that in chat. So 9 failures, 14 threat, and only 1 despair. I demand a reroll. So based on the conversation that we've had so far, which there was some planning going in there somewhere between the banter. Mac, I believe you were standing first watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Well, for the most part, it's a boring first watch. You can work on macrame or whatever your hobbies are. Well, the
Not
biologicals are...
macrame. It's not macrame.
Do not macrame or tabaxi.
What about macaroni?
Feed the macaroni to the tabaxi.
Okay. Well, that might in fact be breakfast, but we're not there yet. So the biologicals are tossing and turning in their sleep, or whatever they're doing. There might be some light snoring. I'm not going to decide who's snoring and who's not, or what decibel we get from each particular character with their snoring, or whether or not they are in fact snoring like Curly from the Three Stooges, which is of course the best way to snore.
I can hear that too.
Yes. I'm not going to say it's from Tex, but it'd be super funny if it was from Tex. It's just an audio recording that Tex plays to fit in. No, I'm not saying that's canon. Although you do notice that Hobby is slowly moving towards the edge of camp. Like, Hobby is clearly not awake. Hobby is not getting up and sleepwalking. It's just that as Hobby moves in his
I grab her tail.
there is some resistance as Hobby continues to toss and turn ever so slowly in a direction away from the party.
I'm going to walk over and try to get in front of Hobby to stop that action.
So at this point, everyone who has encountered a cat has seen a cat drape over a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is the natural state of cats to be liquid in some way, shape, or form. And
Frequently, Hobby drapes over Cavil.
even thousands of years in the future, which is where you're from,
Timing of that.
Yeah.
you have all encountered a cat or cat-like creature at least once. Hello, Hobby. That has managed to drape over things. But rarely have you seen a being drape horizontally as opposed to vertical draping. And this is what happens as you stand in Hobby's way and Hobby flows around you until whichever end is heavier, I don't know which, flows off in the direction that Hobby has been going in.
Okay, that's not good. I'm going to try to...
This is not at any kind of speed, I assure you.
Yeah, so I'm
You are
going
not
to
using
try to
your full
keep
movement
up,
to keep up.
and no, I'm going to try to keep up and see what's under Hobby that I cannot see right now.
We're not
There must
doing,
be something.
We're not doing feet per second for measurement. We're doing
Right.
seconds per foot.
Okay, so I'm going to just see well, if Hobby is floating in the air, there has to be something underneath.
No, Hobby's not floating in the air.
then-
Hobby is currently on the ground.
Tossing
Hobby's
and
bedroll
turning
is
and-
over there.
Oh, rolling.
Hobby
Yes.
is tossing and
Okay.
turning and just sort of tends to toss and turn a little too much and, flop. And the flops keep going in the same direction.
Okay, so in that case, I'll stand in front and try to block the
And then it's flop
Wailing
flop
with my-
against your feet.
feet. Yeah, that's
until
fine.
the Until the flops sort of spill out and keep flopping along, I gather.
Well,
Detect magic.
oh, everything.
Cavill, are you awake?
Yes, I was sleeping on top of Hobby.
Well, for a certain amount of time.
And then I
Hobby
was
moved.
not.
But yeah,
And now it's
everything
cold.
here is magic. The floor is magic. A lot of the stuff you have on you is magic. The walls are magic. That grove over there of dice is magic. The contents of Hobby's pockets are magic. That ominous figure over there walking towards you is magic. All of this is magic.
Ominous figure.
Ominous figure.
Did I not mention them earlier?
Nope.
No.
Well, yeah, there's an ominous figure over there slowly walking towards you. They stand out a bit
Probably
more
nothing.
because Detect Magic made them glow.
Ugh. Can't you be possessed in the morning?
Is anyone going to wake up the poor snoozing cat?
Well, if you're under my feet, I'm going to like jiggle my foot against you a little bit and be like, hey, kind of time to wake up now.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You want the armored boot to be the one waking up the cat because
Just gently, you know. Like,
Yeah.
You
hey.
kick Hobby? You kick
No,
Hobby?
you just
No, I'm
don't
like just
want
nudging,
something...
like you're on top of my foot, and I'm kind of like moving
Yes.
it under you, like wake up. You
You
know?
kick Hobby like the football.
No, that's a different action. This is trying to be
I'm not
gentle.
requiring an attack roll.
You haven't heard of the Miette? Oh no, you haven't heard Miette. Okay, we gotta do you kick Miette.
Like the football. Jail.
Jail for mother. Jail for 1,000 years.
I am missing the context entirely, and that's okay.
I am giving you the context.
That is the context? Okay. Oh, wow.
That's the
Oh,
context.
this right
Miette
here.
is the
Okay.
context.
Yes,
Yes.
let's see. Okay, now I see it. I understand now.
Like the football.
Oh, no. Okay, well, not intending to football you across the room, but enough to wake you up again. We probably need you.
Okay, so at this
That's
point,
all
I'm going
right.
to ask everyone to roll for initiative.
Okay.
Even Hobby?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't roll very well.
There's
I got a 12.
There's my initiative.
I got
I
a
finally
5. I'm still mostly asleep from my sibling/pillow rolling out from under me.
23.
12.
Of course, the possessed person got the 23.
Oops.
He's not possessed. He was just rolling along the ground towards an
She-
ominous looming figure. That's all.
Hobby
That's not possession.
prefers she. Hobby prefers she.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
unclear whether this means anything with Hobby. I mean, Hobby's gender is probably actually cat, but Hobby's gender is tabaxi.
Cavill's gender is problem.
Hobby,
Yes?
you are aware that a robot has been gently prodding your stomach with its foot.
You kick Hobby like the football?
No, I'm
Also-
waking you up because of that. And I point towards the
Also-
glowing
Also, you are
creature.
aware that you are not currently in camp. You are like 20 feet away from it.
Oh, that's a problem. All right,
Well,
up,
we
up,
had
up,
a
let's go.
wonderful moment of Hobby slowly rolling away
Yeah, that's right.
and Mech trying to stop Hobby by just standing in front of Hobby.
Mhm.
So I would say maybe about 20 feet of travel over all of
Okay.
that.
Well, if I can convince the cat to go back the other way so we can all meet up and take care of whatever the glowing thing is, that would be
Burning
good.
cat.
It's glowing for Cavill because Cavill cast Detect Magic.
Ah, all right. So it only
Did
no one else
tabaxi
can
get
see it? Or...
Well, if Cavill's pointing it out,
Ah, okay. All right, so then I'm just going to try to convince the cat to go back to the group.
okay,
dark vision,
but it is-
60 feet?
With Hobby's roll of 23 for initiative,
Oh,
Hobby
yeah.
gets to decide what Hobby's doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Hobby is looking around to see why someone has been kicking her like the football in her sleep.
It could be that ominous looming figure over there that looks kind of like the Borg, but take a zombie and turn them into Borg.
That's pretty close to Borg anyway, you know. Or are we talking like rotting zombie?
Rotting zombie.
Ew. Okay. The result for this is probably going to be the drawing of the daggers and bounding over to place Hobby's self between Cavill and the undead horrible zombie thing, because that will give Cavill time to wake up and Eldritch Blast it.
Okay.
Would like to be between and not engage yet.
Okay.
Hey,
so
wake up, everyone, wake up!
So if you take a look at the non-joke field portion of the map.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did say earlier we weren't using it because we weren't in combat, but then
Right.
But now we're in
and
combat.
multiple people rolled d10s for me.
Yeah.
And you combine them all.
No, I did not. I picked one of them.
Oh,
You
Random.
picked one. Okay.
Hubby, no. Ugh.
wake up,
And
wake up! Danger, danger, danger!
And I
I'm
apologize for
awake.
misgendering Hobby because I was thinking of the original that Hobby's named after.
Oh, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Even
Hubby,
though I had a cat
have
named
twice
Hobbs,
your
it
hit
wasn't.
points. Literally twice your hit points.
Yeah, so.
Ugh.
Also, Hobby is going to fluff up all of her fur and hiss at the oncoming zombie Borg.
Okay.
Hiss, hiss,
Oh.
hiss.
So I'm going to name this zombie Victor.
Hmm.
Because I am not done with puns for the evening. They are going to move forward and take a swing at Mech.
All right. That's a fast-moving zombie.
Well, no, they're not technically a zombie. They are some kind of undead. They are a rotting corpse that seems to have been heavily augmented with all kinds of machinery. Not all of which seems to be functional. It's like someone glued some gears on it to call it steampunk or whatever.
It looks like an artificer cast to animate dead.
That is incredibly apt.
Oh no.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, it reaches towards you with one mechanical device encrusted hand, and I'm going to say a 10 does not hit you.
No. Armor class 16.
So it swings at you with one hand. That doesn't do much.
Nope.
And then it swings at you with the other hand, which is longer because instead of a hand, it's just got a blade at the end of it. So maybe that's the problem. It didn't have the reach. Okay, that's a 23.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Ouch.
That's going to be 6 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Write that in. All right. Got it.
Next up is Stonebrook.
Stonebrook is going to rush forward to get next to it, if possible, and slash at the fleshy parts, if possible.
I think we've established that those are quite possible things for you.
Ooh, only a 7.
7 is unfortunately not going to do it.
I have a bonus action, correct?
Yes.
Can I disengage to the left, like over here? Is that still going to give it an attack of
I
opportunity?
didn't see your character. Yeah. Oh, wait. Well, if you're disengaging as your bonus action, then it doesn't get an attack of opportunity.
Okay, yeah, I'm just getting out of range.
Makes sense.
All right.
Its arm grows 5 feet. No, it doesn't.
That's what I was waiting for.
You slide 5 feet towards it. The ground moves underneath you. No, it does not happen. Or does no, it doesn't happen. What does happen is we have Texas' turn.
I
Has to remember to
will
push to talk. Sorry.
move around it.
I like how I'm sure you moved around it, but on my map it just moved the text icon to where you wanted it to be, so it looked like you walked over Mech and Victor Borg.
Yep.
Tromp, 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 tromp.
Stepping stones.
You learned it from watching Hobby.
Uh-oh.
You got to work on the draping though. Anyway,
I'm going to hit it with a hammer.
roll for Yzma. Unfortunately,
Will a 13 hit?
A 13 means you did not have enough pushers to mail it to yourself.
Okay. I am going to expend a superiority die to add 1d8 to my roll. How about a 16?
You have sufficiently hit the thing.
Hooray.
Oof. I forgot how much damage a maul does. All right. 12 points of maul damage.
Can I only spend one superiority die per action?
I honestly don't remember.
I think so.
All right, I'm just going to leave it at that then.
Okay. So it took a sufficient amount of maul damage. The problem was the clairs. There were a lot of piercings in there. So that was a bit of a problem. Cattle.
Okay. I'm up. 5,
Enemy
10,
over there.
15. Cavill sort of scrambles up and half staggers forwards.
You do a very good impression of Victor Borg with how Victor Borg moved around.
Great. It's part of my bard skill set, doing impressions.
Dang it, inspiration.
Alas, I had it already.
Then you get nothing, except your attack.
And I cast Healing Word on Mech. The word might be, oh, crud.
I'll take it.
One moment. Come on, Discord, let me roll things. No, not slash.
Oh.
You're healing, not slashing.
Depends on if it's surgical.
And Mech heals for 7 points.
7 points. Okay, let me find where my computer put my character sheet, because it just kind of went. I'll reopen it.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know.
The last time we had a session where I thought I had closed a very important document, I still had it open. It was behind all of my other windows.
Oh, that could do it. I'll
yeah.
just bring it back. Hang on.
Yay.
Okay.
And
All right, I'm back.
because that's a bonus action, Eldritch Blast.
It's a classic.
It is a classic for a reason. Oh, Discord is so angry at me right now.
21?
A 21 will hit. 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage.
It is bloodied.
Huh, and here I thought it couldn't look worse.
Well, at this point, there's less of it to look worse.
I'll take it.
I thought you would. Okay. Now we're at initiative 4, and something else is going to happen. I am going to ask Hobby to make a strength save.
Strength, huh? Okay.
And you're not the only one making a strength save, don't worry.
Strength saving throw, you say?
Yes.
How's a 16?
Success. You feel a
good.
strong pull towards this thing, but you're able to dig in your claws and stay put.
You magnetize Hobby? You magnetize Hobby like the iron filings?
However, it failed its strength save because I rolled a 5 for them. So they slide 5 feet towards you.
Ah!
This is not something that they wanted to do.
Does this mean that Mech gets an attack of opportunity?
No, they're still within range of mech.
Oh, okay.
And I believe attacks of opportunity are if you choose to leave a spot within 5 feet of it.
Pass by. Yeah.
Yeah. It didn't choose. It was still trying to face mech, and then it just slid along the ground without moving its feet.
My, that's interesting. Concerning, even.
Oh, very much so.
There will certainly be screeching about you magnetize Hobby like the iron filing, death for Borg, death for 1,000 years.
Okay, well, what would you like to do, because it's now your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Hobby, you still feel like you're being pulled towards it. Like, if you fail the next time I tell you to make a strength saving throw, you will be occupying the same 5-foot space.
I do not want to play Let's Kiss with a zombie Borg.
Probably for the best. It doesn't even have a breath mint.
No. On the other hand, On the other hand, perhaps it is not inappropriate to do a certain amount of let's dance. Can I basically weave around behind it?
You can. You could also bonus action disengage.
And move away from it?
It would cost your bonus action, but you'd be able to be more than 5 feet away from it without invoking an attack of opportunity.
Yes, but it's just going to keep coming after me.
Yes, while you and all your friends whittle it down.
I see. People think it would be better to try to kite this thing around. Actually, it might be better to kite it away from Cavill.
It would like to not be a kite.
That is its problem.
Could you put the
Very
string
well,
away,
yes.
please?
Yes, let us do a disengage. Does that move me to there, or does that move me further?
You got your full movement, I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I would like to move... Wait. let me check something because I haven't done rogues before and I haven't done tons of stuff before, and I can take a bonus action to disengage, which means that I can get an attack and then disengage, right?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, for my first thing, I would like to swipe at it with the dagger that I drew while I was putting myself valiantly between it and Cavil.
And then you will put Mech valiantly between you and Victor Borg.
Heck yeah.
9 will not hit.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you slash at things and go, oh crap. Let's see. Actually, I'll go about here. Slash and run.
Seems like a good plan.
Possibly yelling things about this way, ugly and decaying.
Quite possibly. Victor is going to turn and take a swipe at Cavil.
Ah! That's exactly what I didn't want it to do.
I rolled a 7.
It's not good at.
And it is again going to switch arms and use the pointy one instead of the one with just fleshy bits at the end. Fingers are not as long as a sword. However, that's a 6.
Is that really all you can do?
Apparently so.
Don't say that, Cavil. It'll breathe fire next.
I like how EO complains about D&D Beyond hating them. And I'm rolling... That was a 2 on the die, okay? Okay.
Zombies get no love.
I'm sharing my bad luck.
It's contagious. It was only a matter of time. Stonebrook, would you like to break the trend of low rolls?
Wait, when
Yes.
is my turn? Did I get a turn?
Who?
Me?
Mech. When does Mech get the turn?
I think I rolled a 10.
Crud.
Yeah.
I see what's going on. I reused the encounter tracker from last time, and you weren't in it last time.
Oh, well, that would do it. I think I rolled a 10, but I don't remember.
Okay, so let's see if I can edit this.
Sure. And I can't remember how many health points Cavil gave Mech because my character sheet disappeared.
7.
7? Okay. Awesome. Cool.
What the heck?
All right, let me know when you're ready to roll or whatever.
DM is going, what the heck? This is concerning.
Well, I go into the manage characters thing, and it says that your character's already added. Clearly, it is not.
Great.
Someone cast invisible on your character.
I'm going to do a thing, and it might break a bunch of things.
Okay.
But this is how I fixed it before. I remove the campaign, I add the campaign, and then save. Resume encounter. And good news, it did not break everything.
Okay.
Yay!
It broke
What
your
did
initiative
break?
rolls.
Okay, I had a 10.
So I'm putting in a 10 for Mech. I remember Hobby had a 23.
I had a 12.
11 for Tex.
What did Cavil roll?
Cavil's roll was in the chat, I remember. I want to say it was 6. Bless you.
5.
Thank you.
5, okay. It kept all the rolls for the NPCs because they weren't removed and added again.
Oh, that makes sense then, yeah.
But lesson learned, from now on, every time I build a new encounter, I'm just going to have all of the players in it, whether or not they're appearing in this film or not.
Valid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'll just skip over them. A's been in the initiative tracker since session 1.
Oh.
So,
Aww.
yeah. So, Mech, because we've been skipping around, and specifically skipping you,
Right.
which was very rude of me, what would you like to do?
Okay, well, first I'm going to initiate my rage program. Should take 2 seconds. Boop, boop. Okay, now I'm going to pull the battle axe off of my back, and I'm going to hit this thing with it, specifically aiming for its head in an attempt to separate it from the rest of the creature.
In my head canon, there's a pop-up that says, would you like to run your rage protocol in administrative mode?
No. I will administrate it myself. Okay, so I'm going to roll 2 hits. I've somehow got, let's see, it's an 8 total.
An 8 misses.
Okay. I have one attack per action, so I think that's probably it.
But it's round 2, and during round 1, it was also in range of you. So go ahead.
Try it again.
Oh my gosh, Ellie, it looks like you are trying to rage. I can help with that.
Oh no!
And Tom, would you like to upgrade your rage to premium? Clippy's does manage to instill a rage in anyone who has had to deal with Clippy.
Yes.
You know what, Ellie and Tom, if you don't have inspiration, you're wrong.
Yay.
So basically, you're saying I get to hit it again or try?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't normally go back in time, but this is a fail on my part.
And
So
that one's a 14.
14 will hit.
All right, so here comes the damage, and I've rolled 1. Okay.
Well, that's still
I
4
did
points
something.
of damage for you. Well,
Okay.
from you, not for you.
From me, yeah.
Yes. It did not get returned to sender.
I think that's about all I can do. Do I have a bonus action? I do. 2-weapon fighting. Okay. Does the arm blade count as a second weapon? As a bonus action?
Sure.
I don't know. Sure? Okay.
Well, actually,
So-
is your battle axe two-handed?
It is.
Okay, then...
So I can't do the other one
I
right
wouldn't.
now. I think it is. Let me check.
You could kick.
I could kick. I could kick. Which direction?
Doesn't matter, but just like a football.
Just like a
Yes.
football. Okay. Yeah, it's okay, I'm looking at the weapon. It's a two-handed great axe. Okay. Said battle axe, but it's a great axe. Okay, yeah. So in that case, I'm going to attempt, like, how tall is this thing compared to me?
It's average human-sized.
Average human size.
So-
Okay. So I'm going to attempt to kick it like square in the chest, like sort of a ninja-looking move, and see if I can slide it past Cavill.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck to roll for that though.
Just roll a strength roll.
Strength roll. Okay, strength roll. That's a 2 for a total of 5.
I'm going to say that you do manage to lift your foot and kick at it, but it seems to be pushing against your foot as hard as your foot pushes against it, and there's a metallic clang as the metal pieces bounce off of each other a little bit.
Okay. Did I kick hard enough to break any little pieces off?
Yes, but they apparently were cosmetic.
Oh.
Curses.
All right. That's all I got right now.
It is no longer in mint condition. However, it hasn't been in mint condition since your friends got a hold of it. So
It wasn't in mint condition when it showed up.
this is also true. Unless
That was
mint condition was
seriously
zombie.
used. Yeah, I mean that was a used zombie.
More like moldy condition.
Yeah, very
In
poor.
any case, it is now
Bad
initiative
rating on
4,
eBay.
and I'm going to need 2 more strength saves. 1 for you and 1 for them.
It's
Now, hang on a
initiative
second.
4.
Wait, what?
Oh wait, no, I see what I did. That's my problem. Again, thank you for helping me keep track, because I'm talking about Mech, who was just added to initiative. The initiative tracker remembered it was Cavill's turn, so Cavill was highlighted. So I went and clicked next and skipped Cavill.
Oops.
Oh,
Oops.
okay.
This is
I get it.
totally my fault, and I
It can be
apologize.
fixed, though.
Cavill,
But hang on. Cavill goes on a 5, and neither Stonebrook nor I have had a turn this round.
okay, so here's what happened. Remember I said it broke everything? It couldn't even remember which of you had first initiative.
Oh,
So
wow.
So we've had Stonebrook go, we had Mech go, it's Tex's turn, I guess. Cavill gets to throw an Eldritch Blast in there somewhere, probably. But Tex, what would you like to do?
Did Stonebrook go?
Not yet, no.
You know what? Everyone just roll something. Dogpile on Victor Borg.
Are we just
Do something.
We
are we
should
rolling
be on.
initiative, or what are we doing?
No, we
The
should be
initiative
on
tracker got
Stonebrook's turn.
borked.
Yeah, I think it's my turn next.
The
Yes.
initiative tracker got borked, so please, someone roll something
Okay.
and just kill this thing.
It's time for the otter.
Okay. Stonebrook
Yeah,
is going to
Stonebrook can
dash
do it.
up here, kind of timing it that like when Mech kicked at this thing, and it's I guess kind of balancing on one foot. And what it's doing is it's trying to slash at the other. He's trying to slash at the other foot. So
Wait, Mech's the one lifting
That
the foot. Are you
kicked.
slashing?
yeah,
at Mech's foot?
he's slashing at the zombie thing, and a 12 is
Okay,
probably not going to
because
hit.
if you decided to go supervillain, I mean,
No.
thank you for not letting me know in advance.
Yeah.
But,
and that's a 12, and I probably missed.
12
So-
will unfortunately not hit.
And I'm going to use my bonus action to get the heck out of the way. So he slashed, missed, bounces back.
So remember the Monty Python bit where it's a dance where a guy keeps moving forward and slapping someone with a fish, then
Yes,
jumping back?
yes, that.
It's this, but it's an otter with knives.
Yes. If I'd had a chance to go fishing, I could have had some fish in each
There's a
claw
pond
first.
right
Well,
over there.
It's still an idea. Yes, it can still be done.
Okay, so who else is rolling something? Because I don't know the initiative order anymore.
I don't even know which
Next
dice.
goes Tex.
Yeah, Texas next.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Tex is next.
I think so, because you got both your turns there.
Yes.
So I think it gets Tex next, and then it'll be Cavill, and then it's Hobby, and then the DM can rearrange everything. Oh, right, and after Cavill, the zombie goes.
Is this zombie wearing clothes of any kind?
By a certain definition of clothing, yes. It has circuitry and metal panels and stuff covering any unmentionables that it might still have if
Okay.
you brought it off.
Tex is going to grab it by the back of the neck and lift it up.
That's going to be a grapple check.
It's got to be to 22.
I got an 18, so no, you do manage to pick it up like a squirming cat.
Ew. Roadkill.
Now let's stop sliding around the room and stay put.
Because of how you chose to grab it, I'm going to say it's kind of swinging its arms in a flailing motion, but not able to make purchase on anything. And until its turn, it's not going to be able to. So Mech already got a turn.
Right.
So now it is Cavill's turn.
Yes.
Well, the thing I was going to do, does not seem like a good idea anymore. So, I assume when it's being lifted, I can step back without getting attack of opportunity.
It seems to be otherwise engaged at the moment. It might be
Sure.
you try and make a swing at you, but not very good.
I am going to take a step back out of range. Can the spells thing stop covering over all my spells?
It does attempt to take a swing at you, but it doesn't have the range, so it just ineffectually, like someone reaching for their alarm clock when it's going off, but their cat moved it a bit further away from the bed than was originally intended. So,
Cute. Hex and Eldritch Blast. I'm going to use my inspiration.
a 14 will hit.
Excellent. And that will be 13 damage. Unless it's immune to necrotic damage from Hex.
It does not appear to be immune to necrotic damage from Hex.
Excellent. Because I recognize that this is a potential concern with,
Zombies.
yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not technically a zombie, so yay! Now, I think we're at initiative 4? Are we?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Because I've been wrong several times tonight.
Another strength
Right.
check for Hobby?
Another strength check for Hobby, and this time it's actually going to be a strength check for Tex. Hobby makes it easily.
Strength save? Or
Save.
strength check?
Yes, I meant save. Okay. Tex, you lose your grip on Victor Borg.
Okay.
They are pulled horizontally out of your grip directly towards Hobby. Now, you may notice if you look at the map that this does imply a certain problem, because normally an opponent cannot exist in the same 5-foot square as an ally. However, they're not technically in the same 5-foot square if they are at a higher altitude. However, or on the gripping hand, as it were, when
Which
the
isn't
gripping
gripping
hand
as
is
much.
no longer gripping, gravity takes its
Gravity
toll.
grips.
Matt, could you make
And
a
it doesn't give
dexterity save for me?
What am I making?
Dexterity save.
Dexterity save. Okay.
Dodge.
I got an 11 total.
You take 5 bludgeoning points of damage as Victor Borg lands on you.
Great.
Sorry.
You are knocked prone.
Okay.
Victor landed on his feet, though.
Okay.
He's coming to get you, Hobby. Sorry, zombie thing, you know. Hobby, I think it's your turn now?
Yes. Hobby is going to slash at Victor again if Victor is in range. I assume Victor is in range. Victor looks like
Yes.
Victor might be in range.
Yes.
Okay, let's hit with the dagger. Or will
Victor
14
is-
hit?
Yes, it will. Victor is slightly
Oh, I
off
see.
center because I want mechs to still be visible.
Oh, that makes sense.
8 points.
All right, Hobby, how do you want to do this?
Hobby, in a somewhat concerning kind of way, has done the slash through probably attempting to sever the throat, actually, if it's not too tall. On the grounds that if the head falls off, it can't see to follow anymore, right? Right? Maybe not.
Possibly. Do me a favor. Roll a d20 for me.
A d20.
Yes.
Okay. 1d20. Roll 'em.
A 7.
7.
Let's see. Ooh, fancy.
The other thing that Hobby is going to do is disengage and move without even seeing what the dagger strike has done.
Okay. So Victor collapses with the head. Victor is now nearly headless Victor.
Yay!
Not quite decapitated, but close enough for government work and whatever organization you are a part of. There's some debate about that. Victor collapses. Unfortunately, this is still on top of Mech.
Great.
I'm so sorry.
And
Well, if he's collapsed on top of me, I'm going to see if I can remove the rest of his head.
you could easily do that, or you could try standing up. Victor is technically dead weight, was technically dead weight before,
Right.
but now a different definition of dead weight.
Right.
Not wiggling dead weight.
Yes. We are out of initiative at this point, although
Okay.
Hobby, you are still being pursued.
Great.
We'll have to go to the initiative store.
Yes. You
Yeah,
are being
what I'd-
pursued by a small piece of metal rolling towards you. Mech, what would you like to do?
I'm going to use, since he's basically on top of me, I'm going to use my arm blade. I'm going to try to sever whatever is between his neck, whatever's left, separate his head from the body if I can. And
The tendons.
yeah, well, he's part mechanical too, so we'll see,
Yeah, but, wires can be cut.
Yes.
And there's not too much holding it together after everyone's done. It occurs to several of you, whether you wanted it to occur to you or not, that Victor's head would only take a little bit of work to make a wonderful additional hat for Stonebrook. Because Stonebrook was heartbroken after the loss of his previous chapeau.
I would like to cast Eldritch Blast several times until it is no longer suitable for hat wearing.
Boo.
Aww.
I'm assuming that if I manage to cut that head off, it's like rolling across the floor.
Here's my head cannon. You reach out.
Head cannon?
Yep.
Yes. You reach out, cut the head off, stand up. The rest of the corpse rolls off of you onto the ground. And as you are poor-yorking the head,
Yes.
several Eldritch Blasts hit it in a row, just pulverizing it.
See, that's the head. I'm the cannon.
Right. And I let the little pieces fall through my fingers and onto the ground.
A wise barbarian once said, "That's how you know they're
No,
dead."
they're dead. Yes.
It is ancient wisdom.
It's
And
getting
there's
more
still
ancient.
something.
It's from 10 years ago now, I think.
Details. And
Anyway.
there's
So
still
there's
something.
a small piece of metal rolling after Hobby.
Yeah, it's oblong. It's not spherical or cylindrical. It's more like a lozenge shape.
Is it the medulla oblongata?
It is not.
Hey, Hobby, do you mind if I put that in my pocket? Also, if you say yes, I'm going to shake you to see if you're possessed.
I mean, it's probably going to try to magnetize our pockets together, but okay. It's probably after one of the ones I picked up.
Hmm.
Do you stay still as it's moving towards you, or are you going to keep moving away from it?
Hobby is sort of going to be walking circles around everything as needed.
I want to pick it up and see how strong the tug is.
Surprisingly not that strong right now, considering that it pulled Victor Borg out of Tex's hands.
That's weird. Maybe the other things that were in the thing are made it stronger yank.
Interesting.
Always concerning when you say those things. So, Hobby is going to see, she knows she's got a couple of things in her pocket that she picked up various places, and she's going to take them both out and see which one is actually the one being tugged towards. Because she's pretty sure that's what's going on.
There doesn't seem to be that much of a tug anymore right now. It seems to have worn off a bit. But what little you... Oh, give me an investigation check. Let's put it this way.
Okay. Investigation. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't tell which one it was being attracted to.
But it was a
Does any-
fatal attraction.
Very.
For the other guy.
Yep. Excellently fatal.
There was even some slowly coming from the singing monolith off in the distance. But we've been playing for about an hour. What do you say we take a short break?
Yep.
Good idea.
Capital idea.
Wonderful.
All right, we're back, and it occurs to me that I explained this before I hit the record button at the beginning of the session, and then totally glossed over it for the actual recording. So for the sake of our fine listeners at home, you might have noticed that Chadrick is not here, although Chadrick was here last session. And Mech is here, and Mech was not here last session.
Right.
So here's what happened. When you were all deciding we should probably have a long rest right after you entered this giant cavern, Chadrick realized Chadrick had a bed, and all Chadrick had to do was use the flagstone to ask for a teleportation home, to have an actual bed, and perhaps even a shower. So that's what Chadrick did. Meanwhile, Mech
Sensible.
had been away for a while, and we might address later what Mech was doing, and Mech decided it'd be a good idea to join their friends. So Mech teleported in. And it's a good thing it was coordinated by a third party, because otherwise there might have been a telefrag.
Oh, no.
No, there wouldn't have been. They are able to use the flagstones to track you, so they know exactly where you are. That you are not a particle, so they not only know your location, but your speed.
We're not quantum.
No. If you go
Probably good.
quantum, it is not their problem.
Wonderful. I don't want to go quantum. That is not part of my career goals.
However,
Nor mine.
what you probably need to do is go hiking, because you've got maybe not a whole 5 miles, but you got about 5 miles of walking to do. And this is after your long rest. You had a nice dip in the pond, had some breakfast that may or may not have included macaroni,
Yay!
none of which was glued to the tabaxi, except possibly by the tabaxi.
That's for later.
I'm just saying, cheese can be sticky.
Yeah, that's for later. You know, when you groom yourself.
And I won't ask if the amount that Hobby ate was just enough to see the bottom of the bowl, and then you decided it was empty.
Hobby is slightly better trained than that.
I like how you used the word trained.
Well, I mean, when you're a small tabaxi growing up in a family of traditional tieflings, there's a certain amount of table manner training.
There's nature and there's nurture is what you're saying.
And then there's macaroni.
And then there's macaroni. Anyway, at first your journey towards the singing monolith inside this cavern is fairly easy. The ground is uneven, but not so uneven that it's a problem. You've been through forests where the walking was more difficult. You've had roads with potholes that were more difficult than this. When you get to the edge of the grove, that's when it starts to be a problem. Because at first it's just small things that some of them you can sort of nudge them with your foot and they move out of the way. Then some of them are larger, and some of them are larger, and some of them take more pushing to nudge because there's other things on the other sides of them, and there's a lot of inertia. Some just don't move. Some of them, when you move, you find something was squashed underneath, so there's a certain amount of mass involved where maybe it's not best to be on ground level next to these. Eventually, through trial and error, it occurs to the party that you're probably going to need to go over rather than through these things.
Climb the dice.
You're going to have to climb the dice, and I'm going to ask for 1 dexterity roll for each of you for this entire journey.
Okay. One dexterity
Wonderful.
roll.
I'm going to
All
say
right.
you're going to make it, but we're going to find out how elegantly you make it.
Okay.
Is that a deck save?
No,
Oh, I
Just
have
click
failed.
on deck?
just a dex check.
Okay.
Dex check. Okay. Yeah, I've got a 5 total.
Okay, so let's start off talking about Hobby. Hobby, with your 22, how graceful do you go from die to die?
Well, think a cat streaking through the house with the zoomies playing cat parkour at 3 a.m. and somehow managing to not actually knock anything over.
I roll to disbelieve.
So Hobby becomes the opposite of Jen.
Yes, Jin has never made it stealth check or dex roll in his life.
Jin
He really
is
isn't.
a fuzzy cannonball.
Yes.
All right. And now we're going to go to the other side of the spectrum. Mech, with your 5, how do things go poorly for you?
So I'm climbing a dice, is that right? A really large dice?
You're climbing multiple and going from
Multiple.
one large die to the next.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, if I'm tall enough, I'm going to try to scale the one closest to me. And then I think I'm going to attempt to jump to the next one, and this probably will not work out well. That's how I fail.
Okay. So you go to make the jump and either jump too far or not far enough. It's the same result either way. There is some sliding and some scrabbling and one brief moment where it might not be said out loud, but what people hear in their heads is, no, not like this. Not like this. And then you're temporarily gone before someone can toss you a rope or something and help you climb back up again.
Right. Maybe I'll just walk around them.
They go all the way around.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's no,
Okay.
unfortunately, no walking around. You've got to awkwardly go from one to the next. Tech's got a 9, so it's not as catastrophic failure.
You know how Tex has a hammer?
If I had a hammer,
I'd hammer
Getting
him.
over it with Bennett Foddy.
I don't get the reference.
I don't.
It's the game where you're a guy in a cauldron and you have a hammer and you have to use the hammer to climb a mountain.
I've never played that game, but I had rage-inducing moments just seeing ads for that game. It's the game that's made specifically so streamers can get angry while playing it because that gets people to watch.
Wow. Okay.
But with a 9, somehow you managed to pull it off. Just meanwhile, Hobby is literally running circles around you. And Stonebrook got a 16, Cavill got a 14. Those are both. They're not. Neither of you is going as graceful as Hobby is, but you're doing quite well. And for Stonebrook, we can just say it's a matter of fact that, well, Stonebrook is shorter, so Stonebrook doesn't have the ability to make the same leaps that Hobby is making.
Also,
But
you're not a tabaxi.
Little tiny legs.
Yes.
Yes. There may or may not have been a point where you managed to grab onto Hobby while Hobby was bolting past, and you did in fact have a mount for a brief amount of time.
Now, when the swimming contest comes,
Yeah, well, swimming contest comes, you get to go have it yourself.
And after
We already had that.
after pretty much a full day of this, because it's only maybe a 5-mile trip. Actually, you find out it's under 5 miles.
A 5-mile tour.
Oh, no.
There is a boat tour you can take of the 1,000 Islands in Canada, and there's a 1-hour version and a 3-hour version. And I can tell you from personal experience, they do not like when you sing the Gilligan's Island theme on the tour.
And why did they offer one that's 3 hours?
Because there's over 1,000 islands in the 1,000 Islands.
They ought to offer a 4-hour one and just, why?
And there are some people who don't understand that after you've seen the first 10 islands, the following 990 islands are not going to look that much different. Anyway, it's a day of it, and you manage to get to what appears to be the other edge of the grove. The grove doesn't get smaller on the other side like it did on the way in. It just goes from 20-foot high polyhedral forms to, there's a cliff there.
Hello?
There's probably a bottom to that cliff. When people say bottomless pit, it's usually not actually bottomless. But
But sometimes
I remember this from the briefing.
I can't see the bottom there. You can see the monolith, though. It's right there in the middle of this giant pit. It's very tall. It also goes down quite a ways. You can't quite see the bottom of it either, but it's glowing. It's just the glow keeps going down beyond what you can see. Perspective is weird, but you can see, because of the glowing and some sunlight that's coming down from somewhere, out along the edge of this giant circular pit. And not exactly on the far side of it, but fairly far distance from where you are, there appears to be what people from thousands of years in the future would recognize as some kind of research station. There's all kinds of mechanical equipment and antennas and more than one thing that looks like a satellite dish, all pointed towards the singing monolith, and what appears to be an oversized boom microphone. It even has a little fuzzy thing you put on the end of it.
I guess they're listening to it sing.
Time to start walking. Again.
Well, you've reached the edge. If you walk around the edge, you will not
fall
get
off.
closer to the monolith at any point.
Right, but we can get to the research station.
Yeah. Give me a history check at advantage.
Oh.
Everybody?
Anyone who cares to.
Probably a good
Okay.
idea.
History check at advantage.
Oh, that was on 19.
Well, I said at advantage.
So you
I
rolled
know.
Did
twice.
you roll and it got knocked from a 19 to something lower?
Let's see.
It got knocked from a 19 to a 1.
Oof.
A 12.
Oh,
So you rolled twice, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, got a 12 and a 5. Well, the 5 turned into
17.
a 6. So I have no idea.
Okay. So here's the thing. The history check wasn't to see what you could remember of this location. It was
Okay.
to remember a conversation you had.
I remember
you
this
arrived.
conversation.
yep. There's Ogmanites here.
There's Ogmanites
Exactly.
here, and they are scientifically and perhaps emotionally invested in the continued existence of the singing monolith.
AKA, this was in the briefing. Well, briefing number 2. We're not going to the research station.
Uh,
I mean, you can. The DM can't stop you.
I mean, we're just a repair team. Your monolith's got a twisted trap at the bottom of it. We got to get across to fix it. Set the trap in order so that it starts singing again.
It's currently singing. I'm not sure this will work.
Yeah, but is it singing as loud as it could? This is what I'm saying. You got $1,000 worth of work over there. We got to get over there as quickly as possible, or it's going to be $2,000. What do you want? You want to wait and have the repair get worse? Then you're just going to have to pay somebody else to come over and fix it.
Not sure they're going to buy that. Besides, do they know how to get over there?
Looking
Yeah,
at
I
the
don't know.
research station from here, give me an investigation check at disadvantage because you are observing from a distance.
Everybody or
Investigation.
no?
Anyone who cares to.
Okay. Investigation check.
Yes.
Investigation 2.
Now that's more like it.
I have a 17.
That's wonderful. A 17 is enough. So the Ogmanites don't have any catwalks or anything set up. I guess they don't have any tabaxi on their team, but whatever. So either they don't want to approach the singing monolith or they can't for their own safety. It might be a combination of the two. Knowing the percentage of gnomes that are among the Ogmanites here in Flotsam, preserving their own safety has not always been a priority, so it might be that there's something that prevents them from keeping some type of gangplank set up. They are observing from a distance.
Well, I'm as likely as not to just start climbing down.
That's a long pit down.
Yeah, but I'm a robot and I don't get tired.
Same.
I vote no.
At the risk of providing more exposition, your method for removing the singing monolith does happen to be a ranged weapon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
It's an
I
arrow.
forgot about that.
It is an arrow with a tiny bag of holding positioned to fall into another tiny bag of holding inside the payload of said arrow. The downside is this is literally a long shot.
There's actually another downside.
Well, you can't see the bottom of this particular downside.
No. The other downside is who has a bow?
You.
No.
I have
I
one.
took the arrow. Good.
The short bow, though, is it going to have enough range?
I have a sling.
Why do you have a sling?
Because
A, you can, when you're bored, you can sort of dangle it and go bat, bat, bat. And B, you can pick up just like any old thing and put it in your sling and go whip, 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 fling.
So, in case any of you were wondering why I have a crossbow when I have Eldritch Blast,
this explains.
Oh,
How
good.
far? What's the radius of the pit?
Little under a mile.
So yeah, that's going to be out of range for short bows.
Well, out of range for hitting something accurately, to be sure. Gravity, if you were on level ground would not allow you to fire for a mile to be certain.
Well,
but you don't have level ground.
I am very glad that I just accidentally hit my character sheet and was not rolling for something, because that was a nat 1.
Oh.
That's fair and valid.
Get your nat 1 out of the way.
So it's a 1 in a million shot, to be sure, but it's not technically impossible if you can get enough momentum behind the arrow, because as it curves downward, the singing monolith is also going down an incredibly long distance. The only question is, would that downward arc of the arrow hit a 90-degree angle before it hit the monolith?
What's the range of the arrow? Well, the projectile.
Well, the range given for a short bow is assuming 1, level ground, and 2, that you're not trying to hit an immensely, impossibly large monolith.
Okay.
The other question is, does Cavil have a crossbow?
Yes.
Good. See?
Crossbows don't fire arrows.
This is correct. They fire bullets,
Right.
which are effectively short arrows.
Might work.
The good news is you can't roll with double disadvantage.
Would somebody be able to use Mage Hand or something to take something over?
Mage Hand
Mage Hand's
does not have
range is-
that
Oh, okay.
range.
Okay.
How far across does the giant boom go? The giant
It's
boom mic.
still on the edge.
Okay.
Nothing is hanging over the edge at the Agmanite base.
Maybe we should
We should
wonder
toss
why
something
nothing's...
over the edge first.
Like what? I've got a jet
I
rock.
pick up a rock and I hurl it as hard as I can towards the monolith.
Okay.
The rocks are all 20 feet below you. You're
Oh,
on top of a polyhedral form.
well,
Serenade.
I take one of the... No, I'm going to be smart about this. I load my crossbow and I fire a normal bolt towards the monolith.
It goes straight as a bolt, I guess, not an arrow, for a considerable distance before arcing down into the pit and out of sight.
Is that normal?
I
More or
think came
less.
to destroy it.
All right. It didn't disintegrate.
The
Yeah,
monolith
but I'm
throws
saying
arms
is
and attacks you. No.
the question was, is something pulling the arrow down besides gravity?
Give me an investigation check.
Everybody?
Anyone who
Anybody?
cares to investigate the trajectory of the crossbow bolt.
With an 8? No, that's gravity.
No, I've got 80 total. I have no idea.
Roll 1d20 plus 5? 14.
I'm having trouble seeing people's rolls in D&D Beyond.
12.
I think I had like a 2 or something. I don't remember. I already got rid of it.
It's showing me that people have rolled, but it's not showing me any of their results.
Oh, rude.
I think
I got an 8, Jen got a 3,
Oh, a 3. Okay.
Beth got a 12, Io got a 14, and Tom got a 7.
So those of you who rolled low can bicker and argue over whether or not it was gravity or some force was pulling it down. Cabell is fairly certain that it was not gravity. It was not anything beyond gravity that was pulling the bolt down. The arc seemed to be working as intended.
It looks like a natural arc.
Okay.
How close did it get to the...
It was out of sight. It was out of sight before it hit 90-degree angle down, so you can't really tell.
Just a question about that boom again. Is that something that's already hanging out over the pit towards the monolith?
It's not hanging over the pit. It's, if you ever see a behind the scenes of any type of movie or film, there's always that one guy who's holding a microphone up in the air on a stick.
On a big
Yeah.
stick. It's a big
Imagine
mic.
that,
Yeah.
but it's not hanging over the edge. It's just being held up in the air by some type of mechanical contraption.
Okay, so there's no way to like maybe push that forward towards the pit so that's something we could climb up to get closer?
If anything, that might add a few extra feet before it tipped over the edge.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I don't
could attempt
suppose
it.
anybody knows Shape Earth.
That is not something I know.
Okay.
Where's Meloran? That was completely the wrong name, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Morolan.
Oh.
Morolan.
Good question. It's possible that he also decided, We have beds. We could go sleep in an actual bed and not camp out in a damp cave.
Well, someone needs to go get him so he can cast Bless.
Fun fact, your flagstones don't necessarily have a range limit.
Really?
And they're group communication. They're sending stones. Modified sending stones.
I would like to call Morolin.
I'm up.
Wonderful.
Get us
We need
pictures
you-
of Spider-Man.
We need
I
you
will not laugh.
to come here to cast Bless on Hobby because our mission objective is in sight and, well,
And if you could buy a longbow, that'd be good.
that's
Right.
true.
Yeah, we kind of need a bow.
But we don't have
Okay.
any
I'm
money.
just gonna get some breakfast first, maybe some coffee.
Fine.
Maybe get a shower.
Don't need all of that. Just appear.
Well, we need the
Don't know if it
bow.
hears me.
I will prestidigitate you clean.
But we need the bow.
It's not like we have a time limit.
Well, the players
can-
do, but
Right.
Yes,
I mean, we
Bob.
can camp out right here.
Yes, but also I don't want to get noticed by the Augmanite. I mean, I know they're all the way on the other side, but they're doing Augmanite things.
it does sound like they're in the middle of a shift change.
They're busy. Could be an opportunity.
I hate replacing keycaps.
Oh.
Ellie, you are a true.
Oh.
It is by sheer force of will that I am not laughing out loud at some of the jokes that have been said recently. Something's going to break. But, all right, after a bit more grumbling, because I foolishly did not add a limit to how many times you can use the flagstones for talking to each other in your group, just for talking to member services.
That's because member services doesn't want to be bothered by us.
I believe that's canon.
Yeah.
They put it in a nicer way when they explained it to you.
The
But
heck,
yes.
we know.
See, what I
We
would
know
have
this.
done is there's no limit on the number of times you can call member services. Once per day is free.
There are a number of us. We could take turns.
Mo has handed you a contract. At the top of it, it says consultant.
Handed who a contract?
Well, clearly Tex. Because Mo is the primary investor for creating Flag, because Mo is fabulously
The
wealthy.
richest one.
And Mo does this because Mo expects a return on the investment. With this said, after some grumbling and griping and coffee and maybe a prestidigitation and maybe some bedhead, Morlon appears and is able to cast Bless on whoever will take the longbow out of Morlon's hand.
Longbows are probably
You're
going to be like
proficient.
deck space. I'm
I'm pretty sure
proficient.
you're proficient.
Also,
I am proficient in crossbow.
the longbow is taller than the otter folk.
Yeah,
So-
there's no way I'm going to be able to do it.
If one of you is holding the longbow while the otter folk pulls it back, you will have
Oh,
invented
no.
a ballista.
That's true.
Yes.
Tex can use a longbow.
Tex, it's going to have to be Tex because I am proficient in crossbow.
Why do we have an arrow and not a bolt?
Because they weren't planning for us.
This arrow was not designed for this mission. This arrow was a weapon of mass destruction that was salvaged and handed to you in a last-ditch effort during an orbital bombardment.
Tex has a dexterity of +0.
We have a problem.
And bardic inspiration and bless.
Give me a moment.
Tex is a fighter. Tex uses strength for attack rolls.
Not with bows.
Bows require dex. They're not finesse weapons.
Huh.
I got a +3 in Dex, but I don't have longbow as a thing. So
Right, right.
And a short
Okay,
bow. So
all
A
right.
javelin we could throw if we need
Look.
to.
maybe we need to fly over.
Proficiency is just you add your proficiency bonus. Hobby's dex is +4. Hobby is going to be our best one at this, whether she's specifically proficient in longbow or not, because Tex being proficient in longbow but having a +0 only has a +2, because that's her proficiency.
I will do something nice.
I have an optional plus 1d8, if that helps.
Wait.
How do you have an optional plus 1d8?
It's a maneuver. I add it's precision strike.
Maneuver.
Precision attack.
That
When you-
could potentially be a lot more, or it could be a 1. That's up for the party to decide. But here's the thing. I will allow someone else who is proficient in bows, or no, rather, I will allow someone else to sight down the arrow while the person using the bow is pointing in the right direction and offer advice/assistance so that it can be rolled at advantage.
Stonebroke's already proficient in climbing on my shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, I can basically be the sighter or whatever that term is, spotter, and Hobby can take the shot.
Or
By the way-
text.
Statistically, that
Or
1d8
text,
is better.
Statistically, the text has the better.
Also, statistically, you only have a 1 in 20 chance of rolling a nat 1. But yes. By the way, for the record, I can't hear someone say the word maneuver without hearing it in Eddie Izzard's voice.
And I am going to put a hand on Tex's other shoulder and encourage her.
So I can climb up on Tex's one shoulder. What am I rolling as basically the spotter?
You don't have to roll
Oh,
anything, but
you don't have to roll
technically-
anything. You're just giving advantage.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay.
Yes. Normally that would not be allowed in combat, but your target isn't trying to run.
True.
So, I've got Bless, I've got Precision Attack, I've got Bardic Inspiration.
Hobby is praying. That's all Hobby can do.
Pray unto God.
What is Bless again?
I think it's
Bless
a
is 1d4. Bardic Inspiration is 1d8 at this level.
1d6.
1d6. So 1d4 plus 1d6 plus 1d8 plus
Yeah, I'm only a bard 1.
2.
I will not recite the line from Clue.
So 2 plus 2, 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1.
I was trying to not screw you up as you typed all that out.
And this is not a deception roll.
If it is, you've already lost. The singing monolith sees through your deception. It knows your lies
that
and
is-
trickery.
Ultimately a 21.
So you let this arrow fly, and it goes straight and true up until
wait.
gravity. What's that?
That is ultimately a 21. I forgot to roll at advantage.
Okay. Up until gravity pulls onto it, and it starts its inevitable arc. But you knew this was coming because the bolt did the same thing. And it goes further than the bolt did because magically augmented. We've already learned what happens when you magically augment text. Things bounce off of doors. And just like the bolt, it arcs out of sight before it reaches a 90-degree angle.
I have a concern that we have thrown away our shot.
And then there's nothing.
Is there more nothing than there was?
Is it a horrible, ghastly silence?
There wasn't nothing before. There is nothing now. Before there was something. Even
There
air
was singing.
is something. But then there's nothing
We might have woke something up.
where the monolith used to be.
Uh-oh.
Wonderful.
And there
The
is
Ogmanites are going to be so ticked.
there is a deafening silence. You have the feeling that there should be a roar, a cacophony. There is a large amount of wind blowing at your back as the vacuum of this huge space that used to have a thing in it is quickly filled by the surrounding atmosphere.
Brace for the sonic boom.
Otter leap backwards.
Wonderful.
I am grabbing onto my little flagstone thing and possibly going to be invoking it very quickly with a beam me up if needed.
That might be wise
Hobby-
because a lot of these polyhedral shapes are popping. It's still silent.
I feel
They pop in a way where you feel like viscerally there should be a sound or vibration, but they're just bursting and there's a bit of blue smoke that just evaporates.
Blue smoke?
Yes. They're not all going in a wave. It's sort of randomized, but they're going, and you're on top of some 20-foot tall ones. next to a cliff.
Oh, no.
Let's go.
Everybody down.
Yep.
Everybody, hit the flagstones. It's time to go. Oh, crap. I hope the
Evac.
Argonauts aren't going to all die.
Evac.
Member services,
Evac.
how can we help you?
Get us out of here.
Right, where would you like
Please.
the destination to be?
Home.
Okay, we do have a waiting list
The
right now.
location of
No.
base. The base.
Now.
Receiving is currently occupied. We are trying to get those individuals to leave in an orderly fashion. They do not have the same number of limbs they had when they went on the mission, so there's a bit of a mess.
Back
Okay.
back to the Singing Hills.
Please hold.
It's Crooked Hills.
And now you are suddenly in a receiving room. There is an arcane teleportation circle on the floor. There is a significant amount of blood smeared towards the door that was recently closed. You can still hear some moaning and screaming from whoever was drugged out of this room. But all of you seem to be in one piece.
Quick pat down to check all the parts.
They are all there,
Okay.
except for the ones you didn't have.
Well, that was a fascinating disaster. Let's try at getting rid of those undead again tomorrow.
Sounds like a wonderful idea, yes.
If there's any left.
Well,
Everything was blowing up.
that's why it was a fascinating disaster. We will see what's left tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll head over to make the report.
And I think I'll come with you, Tex. We'll have to ask the Ogmanites what the heck they did.
And that's
Yeah.
where we're going to
The
end
blue
for
smoke was interesting, though. That's what powers me.
tonight. Oh, it was very interesting.
It's also what powers the thing on the moon.
Interesting.
I don't know this in character. I'm just saying this as a thought.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
let's go explain that the Ogmanites did something.
Yes, explaining to the Ogmanites that you know something happened will definitely not arouse their suspicions.
Well, we were there.
I mean, member services
Figured-
knows we're there. Member
Something
services
happened.
knows where we
Services
were.
and Flag are not actually affiliated with the Ogmanites. They
Exactly.
contracted the
We're
Ogmanites to
and we're
do
not
things.
explaining to the Ogmanites anything. We're explaining to member services that the Ogmanites did something.
It must have been the Ogmanites because something happened and there were Ogmanites.
Exactly.
QED.
The Ogmanites did something. All the stuff started going boom.
Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for playing. My name is Crash, and I was joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Ellie, Io, Jen, and Tom. Who wants to plug a thing?
Before we do plugs, can I ask a question?
Go right ahead.
Ogma's a neutral god.
Yes, knowledge is knowledge. You can use it for good, or you can use it for ill, but it's still worth knowing.
I feel like we're in such trouble.
The DM is smiling.
I know.
No, I unplugged my weapon. How long has that been there?
No plugs tonight.
Okay. No plugs for anyone?
Oh,
Mom writes books.
yeah, Eo's mom writes books. Elizabeth-McCoy.com, and one of these days we'll get the no dash version working too. But you can certainly just look them up on, like, you know, Apple iBooks thing, Amazon, Nook, Kobo. You can ask your library to get it through Overdrive. You know, just because they're real cheap for libraries.
You can't
'Cause
just
I like
ask the
libraries.
author for a PDF?
You can, and depending on your sob story, you might get a coupon for the Smashwords version. But also, depending on your sob story, the author may point out that the most expensive one is like $5 or $6 at most.
I'm
And the rest
responding
of them are all below
specifically
that.
to a story that was shared in our Discord.
Yes, well, I'm just being, I'm just pointing it out that you can, but also they're extremely inexpensive books.
When you can get
In
it from
fact,
your
there's even-
library, you don't ask the author to help you steal their book.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
You say you can get from the library, and then you ask your library, and they're like list price or even lower for a library because I love libraries.
There you go.
So all you need is the Libby app and your library card and the library to get the thing, and you're set.
Can confirm
you
I
would
have
get
the Libby app.
Speaking of books,
Oh, okay. My website is bookofgen at bookofgen.net. It's got currently a lot of Diablo stuff on it because that's what I've been playing lately. And it's got book reviews and all these other things. I post things there whenever I have time and energy to do it. But in addition to that, I'm also the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast. You can find it at shatteredsoulstone.com. It focuses on the Diablo games and the community that loves them. New episodes come out every Saturday, usually.
And speaking of being able to get episodes,
Well, you can get the episodes early if you are one of our patrons. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming. Help us keep the lights on, along with other illustrious patrons, including Chris, Ellie, Eric, Mickey, Shen, Walter, and patron emeritus, Cindy. And until next time, this is Crash saying, a magical item I had is, I had it here somewhere. Where'd it go? And all over Circulus, various individuals are having moments just like that, where some powerful relic of a bygone era that perhaps they had found or purchased or had been passed down through their family for generations is just not there anymore. Some of them
Oh,
got
nine
to see it.
hells. Is my patron
Oh,
going to be
no.
mad at me?
Some of them got to see the item disappear in a puff of blue smoke, while all of their friends kept their magical items. Why did theirs get targeted? Who knows? Well, someone might know. And on the moon, a particular device that was used for good and for ill, which may have been broken one last time by a giant dragon foot, accidentally on purpose, and a small cobalt-scaled, not cobalt, that's a different character that I'm creating, a small charcoal-colored kobold who was convinced not to fix the thing for various reasons, was not there to witness all the blue smoke leaving the broken device on the moon and evaporating. And suddenly, Circulus is not unmagical, but less magical than it used to be. Good night, everybody.